In the quiet early hours of October 12, 1988, an ambush in Melbourne's upscale suburb of South Yarra shattered Australia's sense of calm. Two young police constables, Tynan and Damian Eyre, responded to what seemed like a routine call. An abandoned vehicle on Walsh Street. Just another job, just another night shift. But within minutes, both officers lay dead in the gutter, executed at close range. In what investigators would later describe as a meticulously planned attack, what followed was a high-profile investigation, an explosive trial, and decades of lingering suspicion that justice may never have truly been served. The Walsh Street Massacre, as it came to be known, was more than a brazen killing. It was seen as a declaration of war, a message from Melbourne's violent underworld to Victoria Police. Authorities quickly came to believe the officers had been lured into a trap, their deaths an act of calculated revenge. Just months earlier, Victoria Police had shot and killed a notorious armed robber named Grant Jensen. Jensen was connected to a feared criminal syndicate led by Victor Pearce and his brother-in-law, Jason Ryan. They were part of the infamous Pettingill crime family, and in Melbourne's underworld, that name carried weight. At the center of it all was Kath Pettingill, a one-eyed former brothel owner and matriarch of a sprawling criminal clan. Her family had deep roots in drugs, theft, and gangland violence. Some members had openly vowed revenge for Jensen's death, and on Walsh Street, that vow may have been carried out. The setup was chillingly methodical. A stolen car was staged near the intersection of Walsh and Pollitt Streets. The perpetrators waited. When police arrived to investigate, they opened fire, shotgun blasts, high-powered rifles. Constable Tynan was killed instantly. Damian Eyre was wounded, but according to investigators, he was then finished off with a shot to the head at point-blank range. It was execution, and it stunned the nation. The investigation soon zeroed in on the Pettingill circle. In 1991, 4 men were charged with the murders: Victor Pearce, Anthony Farrell, Peter McAvoy, and Trevor Pettingill. 2 other suspects, Jed Houghton and Gary Abdallah, had already been killed in unrelated police incidents before the trial began. But the prosecution's case rested heavily on one man, Jason Ryan. Ryan had turned state's witness, agreeing to testify against his own family. He claimed he had witnessed the planning of the ambush, and even the celebrations afterward. But Ryan's credibility was deeply contested. Defense lawyers portrayed him as unreliable, criminal, a drug user. A man with motives of his own, despite his testimony and supporting evidence. The jury was not convinced. There was no conclusive forensic proof tying the accused to the scene. The verdict sparked outrage. Within Victoria Police and across the wider community, many believed it was a miscarriage of justice, a devastating failure to hold anyone accountable for the execution of 2 young officers. For the families of Tynan and Damian Eyre, the pain was compounded. Their sons had died in the line of duty, and no one would be punished. Years later, the controversy deepened. In 2005, during interviews for a true crime book, Victor Pearce, one of the acquitted men, reportedly confessed to his role in the killings. But he would never face trial again. In 2002, Pearce himself was gunned down in a gangland head, another killing in Melbourne's long and bloody underworld history. The Walsh Street Massacre remains one of the darkest chapters in Australian law enforcement history, a reminder that beneath Melbourne's polished surface lay a violent criminal underworld, where loyalty was often deadly and power was brokered in blood. For Constables Tynan and Damian Eyre, justice may remain elusive, but their names endure, a symbol of duty, met with the ultimate sacrifice.